Not exactly Easy Hoon's champion. Rek'Sai falls by the wayside. Kassadin banned last game for SKT, and there's the Xerath. So no Thresh ban.
Cassiopeia up as well, unless they're going to first pick it away, but it looks like they're going to go for that Corki perhaps.
They want the Corki this time around. Arrow has been generally more successful on that champion, and so they will take it from Bang, who really put the screws to Arrow once they found themselves in the 2v2 last game, setting up that vast gulf in terms of CS 50 advantage at points in the later stages of the laning phase. SK Telecom have a lot of options right now. You pick up that Jarvan.
Lissandra available too.
Yeah, Lissandra available. Although that's more of a threat when SKT has Faker because it becomes more flexible.
Yeah.
Marin, usually the one who takes it, but Faker's Lissandra, very good as well. And they may just take the Graves right here. And that's what they're going to do as... Oh, okay. Oh, take the Lulu away.
Oh, why not? Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder a bit if they're going to do their own protect the Kog'Maw composition.
Maybe. Maybe. They certainly are setting up the tools to do it, and that'll be the Lulu locked in.
Nope, it'll be the Graves.
Last second switch over to the Graves. So they're really not wanting to show anything right now. Take that lane counter. SK Telecom obviously very confident in their champion pools to pick the AD carry in the first round of the draft. So it's going to be counter picks for SKT this game instead of power picks. We'll see how it works out for them. Already counter picking the Graves for the Corki lane. Maybe we'll see Easy Hoon's Jace this time, or perhaps Easy Hoon will try his hand at that mid lane Ezreal. Traditionally a champion that Faker has been playing a lot this season, not so much the Easy Hoon.
Yeah. I keep wondering, I mean, Cassiopeia is still open for Easy Hoon as well too.
Would set up a lot of AoE burst damage.
Yeah, seems very dangerous to allow that one to stick around.
Could go a couple different ways with this composition, that's for sure. Score!
Oh.
Will lock in the Vi. He will be our first player this season to play Vi outside of Bengi.
Yeah. And Lissandra.
So really hard crowd control and engage selected by KT so far. And Graves does have some issues with that, of course, being a lower range AD carry. Could be some responses, however, the Cassiopeia. But they may actually go for the Lulu here. It will be locked in, Lulu and Thresh, so trying to give themselves some additional survivability with the wild growth against the engage coming in for KT, but whether that's a mid or a top lane Lulu. Marin, not really a Lulu top player, so I have a feeling that's a mid lane Lulu, but he may be diversifying his picks a little bit.
Wouldn't be a very high damage composition if they did that and then ended up with like a Maokai or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I feel...
Makes me worry a bit.
Ideally, I think this Lulu goes to top lane, but I also don't really consider Marin much of a Lulu player. So there's a bit of a paradox right there at the moment.
Oh, Rumble perhaps for someday, and I really like it if they're going to pair with the
so
Leona.
All in with the Leona.
Yes, it is. Pretty scary stuff for SK Telecom.
However, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Leona, Lissandra Vi, there is no
Whoa,
turning back once you commit. So Gnar it will be.
Wow, and so that will be a mid Lulu, and Marin, the first player to give Gnar a try post nerfs.
Especially since Marin was... The Gnarin really hasn't been the best.
It was mediocre.
It was mediocre. It wasn't. Yeah, it definitely wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It just wasn't up to the same level as Duke or Smebs in terms of coordination with the team. It wasn't just Marin. It was that the rest of the team didn't play perfectly around the rage. And now that that rage duration is even shorter, it does make it more challenging.
Yep. Shorter with more resting time between as well, too.
Right.
So it does make it tough to get the timing exactly right to use that Mega Gnar to the fullest.
I'd say I am worried about the damage output from SKT right here. They have picked a very durable composition, but Bang is a bit vulnerable on that Graves. If he goes down, he has a lot of tools to feel for him and keep him alive, but if he goes down, there's not a lot of sustained damage on SK Telecom's comp, and KT is going to be so strong in the mid-game. Their mid-game power spike is going to be ridiculous, and if they can push that advantage properly, they may find themselves coming out with a win.
Well, that said, KT is very fragile. We'll see which team takes it. Is KT going to be able to tie things up, or will SKT get the 2-0? Let's get in the game and find out. KT Rolster all in against SK Telecom T1 with this composition here in game number 2.
Yeah, a bit disturbing. One thing goes wrong, however, and pretty much everybody on KT dies.
Yeah, it is
like zero disengage, pretty much.
It seems like another occasion possibly where KT is taking a composition that doesn't really have a lot of, a lot of forgiveness as far as mistakes go, which has come back to haunt them a bit, as we saw in game 1.
Yeah, although in that time, like, KT at least has a lot of punch. This is a heavyweight composition that they can really hit you hard with. So it's less about finesse. The all-in is not that difficult to achieve. Certainly picking the wrong time to all-in is problematic. But other than that, looks like we'll see Fixer heading back to lane. They're trying to call this lane swap right now after they saw the duo up in that top side. They definitely want the Corki Leona in the same lane. That has such great kill pressure.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to get it, though.
So, yeah, doesn't look like they are. It looks like SKT calling the bluff back again. So KT not going to find. See.
You think they're going to go top?
No. I mean, KT is going to go top. SKT definitely going bottom. So lane swap will be on right here, and it's going to be a shame for KT, who really does love those all-ins with the Leona Corki combo. We've seen some teams play that very well so far this season in Korea. Pick up some kills. It's not going to happen. In fact, they are going to be able to freeze the wave right here. Meanwhile, Bang and Wolf showing up late to lane. That means they may not get the freeze they wanted to, so KT may end up with an advantage 2 games in a row from the lane's freeze situation.
That did not help them last time. Ooh, Iziu not able to. Whoa, Fixer. Whoops, he's going to flash in a Baron Pit. Going to get that summoner early on, and they're just going to kind of leave it at that, I suppose. Could have been one they pursued, but when you get the summoner, they didn't really have any vision.
Yeah,
why not just let it go?
Not a lot of disruption there either.
Yeah.
Baron going to walk into lane right now. See if he can get any CS right here. Arrow already heavy on the harassment, but Wolf walked up into the mid lane and then into the top lane immediately. So Marin met instantaneously. So
this will help.
Yeah, get some healing as well from the Relic Shield.
Easyhoon with 100% win rate so far on that Lulu this season. Dragne not doing too bad on Lissandra himself.
25 KDA, not bad, whatever.
Yeah, 25 KDA, that's okay. Not a bad KDA. I've seen higher, Oh,
Dragne forced to flash.
Yeah, and you can just do that kind of thing if you get the jump on the Majarvan early on.
Yeah, that was actually a very narrow window that Bengi exploited right there, considering Fixer was busy warding that side so that wouldn't happen. So we thought that he was going to be safe. Bengi just finding that little bit of a timing before the wards went down right behind the red buff and in River.
Yeah.
Also, hugging that side is a little bit safer because that's going to be your team's strong side, considering you have your support and your AD carry up on that side of the map. So it's the less likely side for the enemy jungler to come out of. Has to burn his flash all the same. Bengi just going to keep on trucking through the jungle.
That is 2 flashes down already on KT, so that does make it perhaps a bit easier for them to make something happen early on here. Bang certainly not having any problems farming against Someday.
That's well he should. Just staying right out of range of that Flame Spitter right there.
Yep.
And that will push back towards his turret. May make an opportunity available. Score is there. Already pink warding the Tri-Brush, wanting to make sure that Rumble won't be taken from surprise from behind. So it's just a pretty cautious laning phase so far. Marin up in CS did get up to that top lane very early, and a quick response from Wolf to help protect him. So,
yep.
Nice movements from SK Telecom. And Someday succeeds in getting that turret to attack some of the minions finally.
Not bad. Oh, Bengi, is he going to be able to get something stolen from Score here? A little bit of damage. Will he be able to take these Raptors? He's going to probably get most of the little ones. Still has that smite available. Oh, Score. I think, dude. I didn't see who got that. I believe it was. I honestly didn't see who got it.
I didn't see who got it either. Both junglers use smite,
Wow.
so it's hard to tell. But in this case, what's going on is Bengi did get those early deep wards in, and without the flash, Nagne very reluctant to make a play right there, stop Bengi from doing anything because they have that summoner spell disadvantage, and he was pushed up. So Bengi finding the right timing right there to harass Score, and this is Bengi at his best, just being extremely annoying and controlling objectives.
Yeah,
Chases Vi off and then just going to solo the dragon. Really,
very slowly.
yeah, but really great control. And there's really nothing that that KT can do about this. He's finding these opportunities and making plays that really help out his team. Barely going to have enough. There we go to finish it off.
Yeah, close call, but that's dragon number 1 already for SKT. Marin just teleports right back into lane. Doesn't really need it since the dragon's gone.
And now, Doa, I know that Jarvan can solo dragon at 6 minutes at level 3.
It's interesting.
I did not know that before.
With just the Stalker's Blade.
With just the Stalker's Blade.
Yeah, no potions or anything.
There's Bengi's like, yes, I am the king of the jungle.
I didn't run in and die this game. Hooray. Good for you, Bengi. Redemption.
It is nice to see Bengi in his element again. I don't understand Bengi sometimes because he does have a very particular style of jungling, but he's just so good at it. And it's disappointing sometimes to see him switch to a more aggressive style which doesn't suit him, and it doesn't suit his team either. So.
Yeah. Seems like they like to make him do it, though.
Just got to stay true to yourself, though. Isn't that
right.
the main message in life? Bengi, stay true to yourself. Don't ever change.
Yeah, just
don't
be
ever
the
listen.
Jungler you were born to be.
Don't listen to those jungle jerks who want you to play Lee Sin and make the sweet kicks.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Just be Nunu. Go in and snowball them and eat their buff while they're trying to do it to piss them off.
Just be annoying. That's right. Be a true support jungler. Make plays. He's going to try to steal a red buff here. KT waiting for Bengi to come take his red, but they're waiting in the wrong place. Well, KT kind of dropping the ball a little bit. They had that red so well warded, and they might still be able to steal it themselves, but they're not going to be able to get any picks here.
Look what Marin did, actually. Very interesting. So he was in that AD lane, and yet he started Longsword. Now he's already into that Hex Drinker, and got the money for Hex Drinker, immediately switches back into that Rumble lane. And that's the timing in the Rumble-Gnar matchup where things really start to get bad for Rumble, generally speaking. Yeah, it's not a great matchup for Rumble previously, but when he has that Hex Drinker, it really, really makes life very difficult for Rumble, and that's where we see a lot of the CS gaps start to grow frequently in that matchup. And so they managed to make that switch, as well as super warding the bottom jungle. Look at that.
Wow.
And then taking the red buff and putting it onto Bang so he can harass Arrow some more. Just SK Telecom, you see these games from them sometimes, and they're just so smart in the way they play. They're hitting these very specific timings, and it just, they know that they can get this Hex Drinker up there. They know that it's going to coincide with this red buff timing. Marin has enough farm in order to make that happen. Just really great strategy.
Yeah, I think KT's going to go back and watch this VOD and be like, oh, wow.
We were thoroughly outplayed.
Yeah. No kidding. Marin about to go Mega Gnar here, but Score coming in. They're going to try to make a play here. Ult first. Marin tries to hop away. He's going to flash out of the equalizer, and they're just going to dive. That is going to be first blood for Score. So KT does come back and grab a kill. Marin kind of chuckling a little bit about that one. He used his flash, but
he jumped too early right there, was the thing. What he should have done is flashed with the Vi ult on him and saved his jump for afterwards so he could get under the turret range, more than likely. Yeah. He did get caught. His leap was cut off by the animation from Vi, so didn't quite create that same distance that he could have otherwise.
How does Vi body slam Mega Gnar too? That's pretty impressive. Wow, Fixer taking a lot of burst damage. Bang pops the ultimate as well there. Ignite used by Wolf too, but they couldn't quite get the kill. Oh, maybe they'll try though. Bang eats a rocket, but Fixer nearly goes down.
Right, and summoner advantage still to SKT with the heal use as well as the flash from Fixer. So feeling very comfortable, and Arrow just getting so far behind in CS again. I don't. This is such a problem for KT that Arrow can't go even in a lane. And sure, he hasn't had the best matchups, but you need to find something that works for him so that he doesn't keep suffering and getting starved out in the laning phase, because something's just not working right now. Could be the new support as well. We haven't seen a lot of the 2v2, and perhaps he still needs to build synergy with Fixer, or they're not on the same page and therefore taking the wrong end of trade, so he can't walk up in CS. It didn't look, it was not great with Achani, but it wasn't as bad with Achani either.
It's a kind of age-old conundrum too with Leona, where it's like when you get behind in lane, what do? You know, you can walk up, but you're not threatening anymore. They're like, all right, well, sure, we'll just auto you some more.
Autos for all.
Yep. And that turret's going to go down in the very near future. Not this wave, but maybe one or two more. Dragon up in about 40 seconds. And SKT should be well prepared to take that one.
Quick kill on the pink ward, denying them that information for as long as they can, and Bengi still hovering around, looking to get some of those wards down. All of them have so far expired down into that bottom side jungle. Marin will be doing the Krugs while he waits for the lane to reverse right now. After dying, he is a bit scared.
Can't blame him.
He's a level down on the Rumble too, so. Somebody's certainly playing the matchup out well.
Yeah, you just got to wonder what's going to happen when some of these team fights start to happen. Will KT be able to contest this? Oh, Nagne jumps right into a brush. That's a face check, and that is going to be a dead mid laner. Well, he helps himself. Can he make something happen here? Vi comes in onto Wolf, and KT could maybe turn this around. Great equalizer, but here comes Bang. Yeah, Someday taking a lot of damage. Not before he gets a double kill, though. Fixer there to try to lock up Bang as much as he can, but here comes Meganar, and Marin helps Bang pick up the triple. A crazy fight. 2 for 3 in the end for SKT, and Bang comes in onto Arrow. No Dragon for SKT, but they do win that team fight.
Yeah, and that was just a mistake in positioning from Nagne right there.
Yeah, face check to Bush, and that seldom goes well. Nice response,
Good teleport from Someday, honestly. He did manage to land a good equalizer to pick up that double kill and zone out as best he could. Yeah. Marin didn't have the optimal ward to transfer to, but there we go. Nagne gets hooked in, manages to pull off his W in time, but it was actually a good ult on himself. He did a lot of damage to both Bengi and Wolf. Made the most out of getting picked right there that he could. Wild Growth comes in, equalizer does take down Wolf. He flashes forward for the flame spitter kill. There is a squirrel spitting flame right there. Easy Hoon. And Marin in the end.
Considering how that fight started, it's pretty incredible that KT was able to get as much out of it as they could, and I think you got to credit Nagne's mechanics there.
Nagne did what he could, considering he made a mistake.
Yep. Well, he's lucky. He ulted himself as Bengi's Cataclysm was diving in towards him. If that had hit, he would have been dead, but got the ult off just in time.
Spamming that R key.
Yep. That's right. Dragon goes to SK Telecom anyway, and with that really early Dragon that Bengi took, that makes 2 already at about 14 minutes for SKT.
Well, I'm sure that's exactly what Arrow needed right here, was a triple kill onto Bang, so he could get closer and closer to that Infinity Edge. That only really prolongs Arrow's agony in this laning phase. He can't get a break, though.
Yeah, no kidding. It's tough. Had to play Kog'Maw game number 1, and now this Corki not working out at all, and that team fight. That's exactly the person that you don't want the kills on, you know?
Yeah, because he's going to be able to exploit that weak spot in your team already.
Yeah.
See him move it in here. Pink ward clearing going on. Not too much Arrow can do about that, though, but they don't know where score is, so... Well, actually, they should have a pretty good idea. I'm pretty sure that pink ward was fair game for Thresh.
Could be.
They have enough wards to be confident in that bottom side. Meanwhile, Score wants to do something to Marin. He doesn't have any armor yet, so that Warrior Enchant will be doing work, but he will be seen up in the top side. Marin does have a ward in the lane brush, typically where Vi's like to come from to gank.
True enough. You'd know.
I do play only Vi.
There you go. Oh, meanwhile, Nagne just evaporates Easyun, I guess. Easyun not even time to ult himself. You're going to have to see a replay of that one.
Wow. Nagne didn't use Ignite either.
Yeah.
Not sure what happened right there.
Okay.
It's like EasyHoon made a significant error.
Let's see. Let's see what that is. Okay.
He's at nearly full HP right now. Nagne
He
claws
comes
in.
in.
W. Wow, that is such a lack of respect from EasyHoon right
Wow.
there. He had plenty of time to use his ultimate, but he underestimated the burst coming out of this Lissandra.
Oh, Bengi's there for the counter engage if they do go into Marin, but it didn't end up happening. But yeah, EasyHoon just really, in a very uncharacteristic kind of
yeah, that's really weird.
underestimation. Yeah, usually this one of the safest mid laners just dies. Bizarre. Last person in the world to really get cocky too.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that happened, but happens to the best of us. As it were, EasyHoon going back into lane right now. Marin and Someday still scrapping it out. There's a lot of magic pen on Someday right now after he got that double kill.
Gotta be careful. He's got the boots, he's got the haunted guys. Even the Hex Drinker and Merc Treads are only going to do so much.
Trying to bait Nagne in again.
Yeah, they need a little bit of revenge. EasyHoon's like, I still got my ult, guys.
Three pink wards in the river. SKT really wants a pick.
And they do get one on to score. There's the box as well. Score immediately taken down. Fixer in trouble as well. He lands a solar flare, gives him time to flash over the wall. SKT chasing for the moment. Are they going to catch him? Whoa, Fixer turned back. Why did he do that?
Bye.
Could have just walked away. Could have just walked away. No. Wanted to die. He's like,
Nagne and Fixer just turning back, you know.
I guess.
They're just so attracted to these team fights.
I really don't. I
Like
don't
moths
get it.
to a flame. Like, I could be fighting right now, but no, Fixer, no, Nagne, you can't go in there.
You know, I think what he was thinking is maybe I can turn around and throw a ward into that brush so I know what's going on. But as all of us support players out there know, that's never a good idea because they're always still right behind you.
Well, right here, too, SKT has done such a great job of playing to their strengths on the map right now. All the wards going in the bottom side.
Yeah.
Martin's doing his best to hold his own in the top lane after having some trouble up there.
Check this out. I think
Dying
this is
to a gank and then Someday getting the double kill. But just the SKT's ability to force the issue where they are strong and their exceptionally good vision control this game means that it's dangerous for KT to go on that bottom side.
Oh, meanwhile, a fight happens in the jungle. Wolf and Bengi in a little bit of trouble. Equalizer comes down after the teleport from Someday. Bengi with the wild growth on him backs away. Arrow already very low, and Bang doing a lot of damage. He's got a second item QSS, though, so he gets right out of Nagne's ultimate. Nagne taken down. That's a double kill now for EasyHoon. Triple kill. Wow, revenge is a dish best served purple. And EasyHoon gets it, but still, it ends up being 4 for 4, and only the top laners survive.
Wow, Someday really is playing well this game. He's holding his own in the laning phase, able to make these big plays off of the teleports, and having the more impactful teleports overall. Marin, I think we're seeing some of the problems with the new Gnar right here, coming in without his rage up, taking some time in that team fight. So Wolf gets on to score, but Bengi and Wolf a little close together right there. Bengi does flash out with the wild growth, and Bang drops his smoke screen a bit early, actually, so it's not there for the majority of the team fight. Bang does QSS and flash out of there. EasyHoon moves forward, gets the kill onto Nagne, gets the turnaround kill with the Glitter Lance onto Fixer. But then Bang stays in a little bit too close to Someday's Rumble and leads to a quick double kill right there. Yeah, very surprising that second item QSS, but
Smart buy.
yeah, honestly, you have multiple ways of being locked down.
Oh, Fixer just totally caught out. And we'll see if Score and Arrow can save him here. It doesn't end up looking like it. Just kind of walks back and forth until death, I guess.
Yeah, I actually love that buy from Bang.
Yeah,
you
me
have
too.
so many ways to get locked down, and you're against the double AP composition, and you're in the lead. You have a full core item up on your opponent from getting that triple kill earlier, so go for what's safe. It's basically just a freebie at this point in the game. So
Third Dragon in 20 minutes for SKT.
yeah, and that QSS just, again, against this comp, insanely efficient. So good stuff. Really like that buy.
Yep, our observer pointing it out now. He picked that up right before that team fight too, so the timing was impeccable.
couldn't take an advantage as a result of it. Did end up trading evenly in the end, but well,
it probably would have been a bit worse if he
it would have
hadn't
been
had
much worse if he hadn't had it.
Oh,
hi.
Vi with a long range ult gets all the way in on Easy and slowed by the solar flare, trying to get away now. There's a wild growth, and it looks like everyone's going to be able to escape, but man, the engage from this KT composition is starting to be very scary.
That's right, but they couldn't actually get it off right there, and so 2 ultimates actually used, Vi and Leona, when there wasn't follow-up compared to just 1 from SKT. So Fox was used too, actually. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
So trading evenly in that regard.
2 for 2 there.
But all in all, SKT is much less ult reliant than KT's composition that really does need those abilities to engage properly.
Yeah. Easyhoon, a bit fragile as we can see.
Somebody's getting real scary. Already done with the Zhonya's Hourglass this early in the game. And this is the power spike right now for KT. This is where they're going to be strong. And if they can't make a play right now, that burst damage that they have will be tanked out by SKT in their huge front line and variety of shields later on in the game. So they have to make the most of what they have. Fortunately for them, Someday is doing quite well in his own regards, so
yep.
We'll see if they can translate that.
Well, SKT, if they can keep picking up these dragons too, is going to have a big tool in their utility belt later in the game. A lot of pressure on KT despite the comp. But I think from here on out, this next dragon's going to be pretty tough for SK Telecom.
Well, you know, and they could just give it up. That's they've built themselves this luxury advantage
that
right now.
Nice,
they absolutely don't have to go for this next dragon if they'd rather just farm it out. They can equalize towers in the top side or try and take out mid, and then just continue to play for the late game. So I think that's maybe the smarter option right now. KT rather is getting pretty darn scary. And it can really only get better for them if they stay even into the late game. So SKT should be looking for that. Now they're going to drop the standard over the wall, see if they can maybe take away that blue buff, but just backing out's probably a better idea. Yep. See if you can get picks right now if you're SKT. If not, just try and play back, farm it out.
All right, pressure into the mid lane. Easyhoon, though, that glitter lance will be able to clear the way very easily. Meanwhile, a bit of a tussle up in the top lane. Marin's going to need to back off. He is still a level down, and there's the equalizer. Wow, they're going for it. Here comes Score as well without any lane turret there. Marin is in a lot of trouble, and this is almost certainly a dead Gnar. Yep, nothing he can do there. Pushed up a bit too far, and his team wasn't there to support him.
Marin
they might be able to get ult too.
So early.
Yeah.
In that little trade, overextending, nowhere near enough wards on the top side to justify that kind of pressure on the lane.
They didn't realize how many people from KT were close by as well.
So
that's rough.
Ults used, but relatively low cooldowns on Assault and Battery and Equalizer. Good turnaround from Someday. Someday really showing up in this game. Which is nice to see after his very disappointing play against Duke.
Yep. Another needlessly large rod. Going for that death cap now, probably.
Yeah, just needs to max out his damage at this point in time. Try and make sure he can be the one to carry this game because he's got 2/3 of his team's kills right now. So he has to come up big.
It's going to be interesting to see how SKT kind of proceeds here because playing safe, I mean, they can, but I just get this feeling from them right now that they want to fight. You know, they seem like they're in that mood today, you know?
Well,
in this game anyway.
I think they're in the mood to overextend and get repeatedly ganked to the top lane.
It's very similar moods, really. 1 minute until Dragon. Will SKT have to give it up?
I think that unless they can find the pick they want, and they need to get a lot more wards down if they're going to have that advantage, they really should just try and play for a tower instead. No need to go for that if they don't have to. Bengi looking around. They do lose the crab right before the dragon too, so that's just one more advantage for KT Rolster, who
he's getting a bit too risky.
Still in the midst of this very massive power spike.
This dragon is starting to look pretty not worth it for SKT.
Well, lots of items actually bought by Marin right there. Veil finished and getting some more components towards the Randuin, so he actually got surprisingly more tanky off of that one buy.
Interesting. Dragon up in 10, and Marin's not going to really have Mega Gnar. They might be able to trade it for a couple turrets, though, and that would be certainly worth it with the lead that they have right now.
Yeah, KT itching to fight, though. They really need to force something right now,
yep,
if at all possible. But Rumble's already down in that bottom side someday, choosing to head back. Mega Gnar coming up. There's one tower. They're going to just go top. What a great call from SKT. Don't fight this.
Oh, yeah, makes a lot of sense. And, I mean, trading 2 turrets for your opponent's first dragon when you already have
so
3 is, oh, yeah, really, really big win for SKT on this one. Even if they do end up giving up this mid lane turret, but they may not have to. We'll see. Ooh, got to be careful going through this corridor.
They are going to get around the side, but they may not be able to clear out the minion wave in time. Throwing down that ult, bad collateral damage, doesn't hit a whole lot right there, so they do trade a turret for a turret and a turret for a dragon in the end, but staying even. And that is, I think that's just so smart by SKT.
Yeah, the turrets are even now for both teams. You know, it's an interesting game too, because we have so many short cooldown ultimates on both sides. So that does really leave the opportunity for a lot of fighting and maybe a little bit of extra ult use that we don't normally see.
Yeah, true enough. But I like what we're seeing out of SKT. Both games tonight, they've just seemed so poised.
Yeah.
In terms of their shot calling. That's quite entertaining to see their strategy take shape in such a thoughtful and clear manner. Nagne already has the sorcery elixir right now. You can really tell how hard they were trying to gun for that power spike, KT Rolster. Investing into a consumable item. It's not too cheap, 400 gold, but Nagne looks like he's not even really going to be able to get to use it. Also, elixir onto Rumble as well. Wow, they really invested a lot of gold into fighting at that dragon, and SKT just said no.
Smart move. I'm sure they saw those buffs as well. Bang just finished his Phantom Dancer. Wolf catches score, but yeah, I wouldn't follow up on that one either. Just gonna have to give up a little bit of jungle control for now.
Interesting that I think there was an elixir of ruin on the Rumble actually.
Huh.
What he's going to be using that for? Of course, they
damage
did.
to buildings.
Yeah, they did get the mid lane turret very quickly.
Yeah, that's true. Got a little bit of use out of it.
That's an underused item, I feel, though.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's hard to find the proper time to pick it up, you know?
Closing out games.
Yeah, but
super good.
It doesn't make you big. That's the problem.
It's true. It does lack the comedy factor in making you absolutely giant, doesn't it?
Need more of that. Comedy, but also useful. You know, you start to body block people a little bit more. Yeah, you can do it. Well, lane's being pushed up, and SKT, are they going to be able to maybe pick somebody here? Doesn't look like it. KT moving away in time. Nagne is down in mid, though.
KT really looking for something, anything right here.
They want to fight very badly.
Phantom Dancer now done for Bang also. Going to be moving into a Bloodthirster next, looks like. So ignoring some of the armor actually on his opponents right now, that could be somewhat problematic considering the overall low damage of SKT. Maybe he doesn't need that additional survivability. Marin overextending.
Oh boy, here
on
we
a
go
very
again.
dark map. He has no wards again.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bizarre decision. Looks like they're going to lose Marin once more, and wow, he flashes. He manages to dodge the skill shots.
His Veil didn't even get popped.
Crazy. Where was the Solar Flare there?
While they were waiting to pop his Veil.
Yeah, I suppose it's true. Yeah, wow.
But he didn't actually get hit by any abilities, so
Marin,
his Veil wasn't popped.
I think that's what you call it getting lucky. That none of those skill shots hit.
Flashing out of the way, but he has to stop doing that. There are so many wards up in the top side, and he needs to either use that stealth ward totem that he bought. That'd be a good start. He could, in fact, put some wards down
No.
to help
That's
him avoid
ridiculous.
those situations. Here we go, Wolf coming in.
Yep, flash play onto Nagne. Nagne gets pulled in. He's going to have to ult himself, which he does. Wild Growth as well. There's Equalizer coming down. Solar Flare onto Easy. And meanwhile, Bengi getting roasted by Someday. SKT trying to get out of this one, and Nagne lived through it. Marin, he is Meganar. He is in the back lines, but he already used his ultimate. Bang can't get the kill onto Arrow, and now he's on the run. Stun from Fixer. Nagne comes in to finish him off there, and KT with just some straight-up superior team fighting there.
Well, they have this advantage. Like I said, they have this mid-game power spike, and Sunday's absolutely huge. He is carrying the team this time, turning that fight around in favor, even though it looked like they found a very good pick. Nagne's ultimate buys them enough time for Sunday to waltz into the lane. This is a risky, risky Baron.
Yeah, Easy Hoon is very low, though. So
They don't have Equalizer right now. I
think they should be able to do it. Well, SKT
Nar is
coming
nearly
back.
Mega Nar.
He is.
Nagne's back. Okay, they're all right now. Nagne coming back will allow them to clean up this Baron. He did have his ultimate available, so Nar not going to be able to go in.
Yeah, was a bit lucky. Now, will they give away a turret or two possibly from this? I think they should be able to get back with the empowered recall in time. Let's watch that fight again. Wolf trying to engage
It's not
here.
enough damage right there to kill him and continue to CC. Also, Bengi's crowd control was like a split second too late right there. And so they are able to annihilate Bengi on that engage, and Bang wildly out of position. You don't want to flank as an AD carry. And this
Especially
is
not
why,
Graves.
especially not with all of the CC on this team.
Yeah.
Just asking for trouble. SKT trying to set up a big Fixer, walking into the brush. Bang
Whoa.
is there, has to lantern out.
Wow, that was close. Dragging up right now. SKT could go for their fourth one. KT looking to get their second. Fixer, Solar Flare up yet again. A lot of low cooldown ultimates, remember.
So SKT really just wants to delay them right here. They want to burn as much of the Baron buff as possible.
Oh, here we go. Bang getting jumped on by Vi. Score coming in as well. There's.
Bye, Bengi.
Oh, Bengi just gets absolutely destroyed. Meanwhile, another kill for Nagne onto Easy. He's still chasing. Bang in a lot of trouble. Gets grabbed. Bang trying to turn around. There's a W. Locks him up in a double kill for Nagne. I think SKT is going to find it very difficult to win this one.
There's just not enough damage on their composition. They can't actually kill anybody right now.
Yeah, very bizarre.
Especially with two Zhonya's hourglasses. That's actually a huge factor in this right now, is that basically the hourglasses buy KT enough time to kill Bang, and then there's nobody left.
Yeah. Marin trying to defend that turret, but of course he can't do it. No damage, nothing else. Dragon taken at the same time. And KT, I mean, yeah, KT is certainly playing well. Nagne is playing out of his mind right now, but SK Telecom just really picking themselves into a very difficult matchup.
Yeah, and that was the problem that we were talking about in picks and bans. It would have been better to have this Lulu top. Oh, there we go. There's the equalizer coming down. Only one person hit, but Bengi just melts like butter. And Easy Hoon gets locked up by Nagne. That was very nice split in crowd control. Bang. Nagne still has his Zhonya's, by the way, so there's really nothing Bang can do to him right there.
Yeah. Void Staff picked up by Someday now. He will be rocking everybody's world even harder. But I think both Nagne and Someday have been putting on an MVP performance this game.
I just don't get why you pick Lulu when Marin doesn't play it. In this particular composition, it's just you have to get such a big lead early on to have the damage necessary to pull this off. That
early
comes with a lot of risk.
The early Graves too. I mean, it's
well, the Graves is fine.
Is it?
Yeah, sure. Play Lulu top and Ezreal mid. There are other ways to get around the Graves that can be successful, especially against Corki. That's generally a winning matchup for Graves. And we did see Bang come out with that CS lead one more time and even get that triple kill early. Nothing wrong with the Graves pick. It's just the Graves pick doesn't work when the rest of your comp has no damage, because there's no guarantee in a team fight due to Graves' short range that he's going to get a lot of sustained autos off. He'll get an ult off, for sure. Maybe he'll zone some people out with a smoke screen, but it's just not the same consistency in terms of damage. And SKT have been unable to kill someone fast enough in order to make that work. So,
This is that moment, though, where SKT has a habit of finding some way to come back.
Usually it's Faker making a play, though.
You're right. That's right.
Usually it's Faker.
Sometimes it's Score getting caught. Sometimes Score gets overwhelmed. Then he doesn't get caught after all. This is like your dream come true now. KT beating SKT.
It happens.
It's happening.
It happens very little in League of Legends, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is true. The rivalry is not quite what it was before.
Everybody's zipping out of the base on home guard boots right now, but they have to really hope for a lot of picks with this Thresh in order to make this composition work at the moment. 7K deficit, hurting quite hard, and Nagne really again showing up on this Lissandra. He's been so good on this champion over the last few weeks.
Yeah, you need to make sure he doesn't have it.
More sieging. Baron buff is off right now. It won't present quite the same level of threat, but how do you even walk up here? Because KT can just dive you so easily at this point in time.
I mean, all Nagne has to do is throw his E towards the enemy team and everyone just backs away. Easy turret.
I think this Gnar pick, Marin still hasn't been terribly impressive on this pick overall, and now that it's nerfed, showing really that.
Yep. Banky with a lot of shields. Marin about to go Mega Gnar. This is good timing for SK Telecom. Wolf, there's a big equalizer. Bang just takes a lot of damage. QSS is out of it, though. There's a kill on Bang anyway. And SKT already on the run. They just cannot fight KT right now. No way you're going to beat this team in a team fight.
Well, I traded 2 for 2, but Marin looks like he's going to.
Yeah. It's not. They may have traded 2 for 2, but I wouldn't necessarily call that a win. Or even at this point.
Baron up in 1 more minute. Can they take something out of it? Marin trying to steal that with the boomerang. Won't quite make it. KT just continues to pile on the pressure across the map, in the lanes, on the objectives. Not really any kind of response from SKT. They were a little bit too low after that team fight.
Yep. And the push in bottom lane taken care of very easily by Arrow.
Arrow's finally almost caught up in CS, though.
Wow. Took him a long time. A lot of assists.
A lot of assists indeed. Someday is just terrifying. Holy smokes.
Yeah,
600 AP rumble with that Leandries and all that magic penetration.
Is that a Zerat's portal that he's got 2 now?
That's a
or is that
Elixir of Sorcery.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I wish.
It's
in my world, everybody buys Zerat's portal.
I want to say it looks a little bit similar, but I could be totally off.
It's purple.
It is purple. Top laner has it.
Oh.
Wah, wah.
Couldn't quite steal the red buff.
Nope.
Fixer tries to find an engage. Can't get it. Looks like he hit a veil.
Yeah,
oh, this is dangerous, actually.
Marin about to go Mega Gnar here. Wolf, can he get a crucial death
chucked
sentence?
him out.
Well, they threw him in. Nagne forced ult himself. They're going to grab Score. Score just ults onto Bang, though, in the middle of the death sentence. That's a double kill now already for Someday. Someday making it a triple with Easy, and Easy with the wild growth. Doesn't matter. Roasted. Wow. So apparently you can buy ult out of being grabbed by death sentence.
It's probably right at the end of the CC.
But seemed like it was right at the beginning.
I'll check that out and see what happened.
Yeah, I'd love to see that again.
All right, well, pretty easy push right here from KT. That was the best fight SKT could have really hoped for with this kind of deficit into the game. So they're going to drop one against KT here and put them into that 5th game. I think they could have done better with a different draft. Not sure what they were thinking here, but they do get punished. And KT, especially Someday and Nagne, coming up huge this game.
Oh, yeah. And there goes the Nexus. KT very, very low. They'll get it anyway, though. GG. And we're going to game 3. A little bit of the Telecom war is still alive here, apparently.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise, but Someday was really on point with his teleports in that last game. Held his own in that tough lane against Gnar. Got the kills thanks to Score's help.
Yeah.
And then pushed his advantage quite nicely. Marin, the Gnar is just, it doesn't do it for me, Noah.
No, I don't think Gnar is very relevant anymore. Thank you for Marin. Thank you to Marin for showing us that. A win for KT Rolster. And I think that's a bit of an embarrassment for SK Telecom. It didn't have to be a 3-game set. I feel like SK Telecom could have picked a much safer composition that they had more experience on. But in the end, 11-1-5 for Someday. I think we've got our MVP right there.
Very impressive performance. Although Nogne's been very consistently good over the last few weeks, and comes out strong again on one of his best champions, Lissandra. So we'll see what SKT has in store for Game 3. I certainly think that they can put more pressure on the Ezreal and Lissandra picks if they put Faker in for Game 3, because he also plays those champions very well. Meanwhile, EasyHoon, there's not a lot of champion pool overlap between these two players right now. They won't have to ban LeBlanc anymore. It will completely change the draft against KT, and I think it'll open up a lot more takeaways for SKT. I think it's definitely, against Nogne's champion pool, better to have Faker in the booth.
I think it's time to rouse the giant that is Faker and see if he can get SKT the win when we come back. The final game of the night. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with more Champions Korea.